Uh, Srishti just gave a short description of myself, and I don't want to elaborate on that, okay? And before I start off with the story, I just like to give a disclaimer because this is a very, very drastic topic. Some people may be offended by it, but I hope I'll be able to change your perception regarding this particular topic that I'm going to talk about. All right, so the disclaimer says, disclaimer, the views expressed in this story are absolutely personal and does not necessarily motivate anyone in the audience to practice what I say in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Bottom line, please don't try this at home and become a foul-mouthed son of a bitch. All right? But yes, I'd surely appreciate if it is able to change the mindset of some people, like it did mine. All right? So, once upon a time in 1998, that was like about what? Almost how many years? 1998, almost like 18 years ago. Okay, I went to pursue my engineering in a college called Kamla Nehru Institute of Technology, KNIT, which was also called as Kala Nagin trousers by the guys out there. All right, that was the AKA. All right, so the life. I don't know how many of you are engineers out here. Any engineers in the house? Anyone who's done his engineering or her engineering from India? No? But anyways, okay, you can relate to my story, all right? So this was basically an engineering college in one of the remotest parts of India. It was called Sultanpur, okay? Maybe it'll give you some idea of like, something like Rampur of Sholay or something like that, very, very remote area in India. It was a place which was, nearby the Ram Janmabhoomi in, Amethi, okay? A very, very remote place in the western part of UP. So uh, I went there. I was almost, along with my two other friends, we were almost like 1 month late when we were joining the college. All right. So the first thing I remember was, going with my father. My father was accompanying me during my admission time, and we were going through the college compound, and we could see like people in white shirt and gray pant and black shoes. Some were sitting in a murga position, and some were uh, saying some prayers to a tree, or we could see some, most of them walking around with their heads held very, very low, which we called the third button. Okay. So later on, I could understand when my father explained, who also had done his engineering from a place like Patna, Bihar, typically. Okay. So he came and explained me that, this is what ragging is all about. This is how ragging looks like, And the gray shirt, the white shirt and the gray pant that these guys are wearing is the uniform. The uniform is supposed to stay with the juniors for the first yearers or the freshers for a certain period of time, maybe 5 months, 6 months, till they please the seniors properly. All right. So, anyways, that day went on properly. I got admitted, and along with my two other friends, like I said, who were actually nominated by the state government of Sikkim, and so we had gone there as nominees. We were 1 month late, so we had missed out a little bit on the ragging part of college. So we were a little bit strange towards some customs that were going around in the college. Okay. Unfortunately, what happened was, because there was no space in the first year hostel, we were placed in the third year hostel. Now, like I said, if somebody has done his or her engineering or any college in a hostel from India, you can imagine the dread that you would feel for a fresher staying in a third year hostel. And why am I saying third year? Because, the third year is the most notorious year among the 4 years. You get rusticated, you get back papers, you get into brawls, you fight with your juniors, you fight with your seniors. Whatever bad has to happen happens in the third year. That's the most jinxed year in the 4 years. Okay, so we were placed in the third year hostel along with seniors all around us, dangerous seniors, they were like gundas, so it was very, very scary, but thankfully, my neighbors, the seniors were pretty good to me later on, all right? So we were placed in the third year hostel. We, took all those baggages and went to the room and settled out there. And as a ritual, every night we had to, go and give our attendance in the first year hostel, which was about 100 meters away from my third year hostel. Okay. So every night at 7 o'clock, we had to be present there. There used to be a roll call by the seniors, and we used to go there. So the first day I went there, the scene was something like, Please be prepared for it, okay? And please don't, you can judge me also, I don't care, okay? So the thing was, the scenario was like, seniors shouting, "Abe, mother chod, idhar aa. Bosri, idhar aa." Like, "Ban chod, tere ko kuch samajh mein nahi aa raha." I was like, what? Is this what, education is all about? Or is this what engineering is all about, Uh, it was a little bit drastic because I came from a completely different background and I went to a college and these guys were spewing out like, mother chod and ban chod and, betty chod, like anything, it was just normal. Like I couldn't take it actually. Honestly, it was very, very, enraging for me and I had started getting so angry that I almost had a fist fight with a senior, a local senior. If you imagine a guy who is almost 1,000 miles away from his home, having a fight with a senior within the compounds of an engineering college with a third year, fourth year senior means you could be dead sometimes. Okay? You could be dead. Again, like the area I am talking about is something like, gangs of Wasipur kind of a thing. Okay? So Sultanpur, UP, Bihar, that kind of thing. There were rumors that some of the seniors in the college had kattas in their rooms, so you could be shot dead, honestly. All right. So, but fortunately, what happened? Fortunately or unfortunately, what happened was there were a few seniors who were observing. Now, the good part about college and hostel is that, by the time you are in the third year or fourth year or second year, you've developed your own level of psychoanalysis. Okay, now these seniors have developed a very good way of analyzing their juniors. Now they can say that this junior is this junior is that, यसले चाहिँ गफ हान्दैछ, यसले चाहिँ यो चाहिँ एकदम डराएको छ, यो चाहिँ एकदम honest छ, यो चाहिँ एकदम meek छ, he is timid, or whatever it is, they can analyze, on the very first sentence that you speak out. So some seniors, what they did was they came to me and said, "Aaj raat ko tu mere room mein aana." Okay. Now, as soon as he said that, rest of my friends went silent. Okay. The problem was that was a room call. A room call bhaneko chai kasto bhandakheri anything can happen in a room call. Okay. You could be made a phantom. They could make you wear their dirty underwear on top of your pants, run around the corridor. Okay. They could make you eat a condom. Okay. They could make you sit for half an hour just in the air like this, chair. Like they would come and say, "Abhi chair banja," or "Murga banja." Like it was, whatever you can't think of is happening inside that particular compound. All right. So my other friends who had already admitted into the college like about a month ago, they said, "Teri to lag gayi, teri to batti lag gayi." Why? I said, "Hey, it's a room call. Anything can happen inside the room, So I went. Now you have to obey, otherwise, tomorrow again you're going to be in trouble. So I went to this room. They were the second year guys actually, and I went to the room. These guys invited me. The room was bloody stinking like anything. It was a mixture of dirty socks and puke and alcohol and I don't know, sweat and it was mid-July, I guess. Temperature was around like 49 degrees, okay, and there was no fan because there was load shedding. They had lit up a candle or something like that. I still remember. And after a while, I think after 10 minutes, the light came. I can remember. It was stinking very, very bad. Okay. Went inside the room. They let me sit on the bed after asking for a permission, obviously. Okay. And these guys tell me, like, "Tere ko bahut gussa aata hai kya? Tere ko gali nahi pachti?" Like in a bossy way. Now, I was surprised as to how could they comprehend that thing, that I was angry regarding the swearing that was going on in the first year hostel, and surprised, like how could they analyze me so well, and how could they pick me up from the crowd and call me to their room? So I said, "Nahi sir, aisa to kuch nahi hai." Like we used to call our seniors sir. Okay, for example, if you go to King George's Medical College in Lucknow, they call their seniors boss. There's certain like rituals in every college. Okay, they call themselves boss. We call themselves our sirs. Okay, even we now after graduating after 18 years, we still call them sir. All right, seniors. So nahi sir, aisa to kuch nahi hai. But they said, "No, dikhta hai. Tere chehre pe dikhta hai." I could see the anger on your face. You were about to hit a senior and this and that. But they were just trying to play around with me. So what they said was, they gave, like I said, 10 minutes after that light came and they put on the fan and they told me to sweat to the rotating fan till the fan stopped. I know the fan is not going to stop, but it's basically ritual, ये पंखा को इतना गाली दे कि ये पंखा बंद हो जाए या पंखा गिर जाए. And I started with like, Sala, Chutia, ये क्यों गाली है? You are in UP, man. You are in an engineering college. That's not a gali. And he showed me a demonstration. Again, the same words, अब्बे मादर चोद भोसड़ी के बहन चोद बंद हो जा साले नहीं तो अभी मैं तेरे को लगाऊंगा ये वो this and that. And I got a feel of it. Actually, what they were trying to tell me, or what changed the scenario was now, the turning point came. Okay, this guy, after giving a demonstration, comes to me and says, see, very normally, now he was like normal, he was treating me like a brother. He put his arms around me and said, see, whatever happens in this technical college is technical. You have to live with it. Okay. Now, I named this topic or the story Technicality of Profanity. Why do I call it? Because now these guys were explaining me what is the importance and what is the things that you are supposed to ignore as far as profanity is concerned within the walls of an engineering college. Now, they started explaining me what was the technical part about, swearing or using a foul word. So what they said was, अगर कोई तेरे को आके बहनचोद बोलता है, so you understand that your बहन is technical बहन. Okay, first of all, that is what he said. अगर कोई तेरे को आके मादरचोद बोलता है, तो समझ कि मादर मतलब your mom, but they are talking about your technical mother. अगर कोई आके तेरे को बेटी चोद बोलता है, तो तेरी बेटी जो है, वो technical बेटी है. Okay, if we are talking about father, we are talking about a technical father. And I was confused, like, how can you have a technical father? Okay, so what they explained was, the technical mother is your senior female, your technical sister is your female batchmate, your technical beti is technically your junior female students. Okay, so whenever someone is giving your gali, it ricochets around and goes to them. You don't have to worry so much about it. That was like a big relief. Like literally, okay, it's not my father or my mother they are talking about. It's something technically which, the best part was the guys inside a particular ecosystem had developed their own system to manage and, enjoy themselves and be ignorant about some drastic things, which could have otherwise caused a lot of trouble. Somebody just comes and, spills out a word and the guy is angry and he just punches him and, just imagine, guys, 150, 200 guys within the walls, all the hormones and all those, everything working around and, you don't have anywhere to go. You are in a very, very remote place and just someone spills out a bad word and the whole scenario is chaos. Okay. So these guys, from generation to generation, they had developed a certain system to make sure that this thing works. And it worked. The technical gali, the technical intro, literally we had technical arti and technical namaz. In the sense they had balanced, If there is a technical arti for the Hindu guys, there will be a technical namaz for the Muslim guys. Okay, and everybody agreed to it. Nobody was religiously offended, Like there used to be Om Jai Jagat Hare, त्यहाँदेखि नभनौँ होला हैन त्यहाँदेखि like namaz all the 6 in the morning the seniors used to wake us up and call us up on the Mati Chatma and you used to do the namaz. That was the ritual. Do it. Okay. So why has it changed my mindset is what happens if you are able to look at things from a different perspective. It's not only about giving a gali and it's not about just 4 years, it's not about just 150 guys living in a closed wall or something like that. Okay, it's just actually the learning came quite late after this thing happened. भनेको मतलब engineering सकेर आइसकेर बाहिर when I nowadays if you talk about me or myself, I am enraged. You can ask my wife. I always have a fight with the traffic. Okay, I post it on Facebook. I'm angry all the time. She tells me don't be so angry. Just calm down and things like those. But I am angry. I am rebellious. I try to fight the system, the wrong system. I have diverted that kind of energy to the other way. But I am not really worried about somebody coming and swearing at me. If somebody comes and says fuck you, I say thank you. Okay, it's not a big deal. So what I'm trying to say is you can change your perspective and you can bring about a drastic change in the society. Now, what do I say is just imagine you extrapolate this thing and spread it across the world, or let's say just about our nation, forget about the world. Nation ma matre pani aile yo kura spread garera if you learn to ignore. Just imagine somebody comes and tells you, like, hey, Newar. Okay, fine, I'm a Newar, obviously. Somebody comes and tells you you're a Bound or Chetri or whatever it is, just forget about it. And it's just an ecosystem, and you should know how to create the harmony. So I started extrapolating that thing and practically practicing that thing in the real life, in now today's real life. That was a very laboratory kind of a condition where everything was ideal. Okay, now the system is not ideal. I don't know the people who I am fighting with. All right. So this, the change that came into my mind was about ignoring things at a certain age, at a certain time. Okay. Now, to top it off, just to leave it with a little bit of humor after all those, foul words, I grew up in a Newari culture, okay, where again swearing is very, very common. Like we use words like ma'am, baka, and home, and it's like normal. Honestly speaking, it's very, very normal. My grandfather used to do that, and we just picked it up, and my father uses it, and we use it at home, and nobody cares about it except for my mom. Sometimes she shows her dissatisfaction. You shouldn't be speaking these words at home. Now, what happens is I am very, very notoriously famous for teaching this word to a lot of my cousins when they are like 2 years old or 3 years old. Honestly speaking, you should try it at home because it's very, very cute. A 3-year-old, totally bolli mam paka bhandakeri, like, it's very cute. Okay, so I used to try that with everyone. Now, the thing is, God's punishment comes in different ways. Okay, now my son is 2-year-old. And you must be thinking, he must be telling out that word every time and then. No. I've been trying to teach him that word so many times, but he doesn't say it. That's the punishment. I want to see my son spell out that word casually, obviously. Okay, take a video and show it to him when he's like 18, 20 years old, but he doesn't say it. Mere uncle, those who want to take revenge with me, they come and teach that word to him, but he doesn't say it. Yeah? So it's very ironic in a way, it was the paradox of the paradox. Okay, so this is basically what my story revolves around. One small instance that I had during my engineering days within the hostel rooms with 3 or 4 guys throughout the 4 years, but it gave me a completely different perspective about things, major things in life. Sometimes I believe in the fact that ignorance is bliss. All right, you guys somehow agree to me, or throw a glass at me. If someone wants to throw a glass at me or beat me up to pulp, Okay, so I end my story. Okay, thank you very much.